Hello, Leavell. Guess who's coming to dinner? Well, happy Monday. And it's the very last day of January. And has this been a roller coaster month or what? Welcome to Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. I'm excited. We've got a very vibrant young lady coming to talk to you today. And I'm getting to meet her for the first time, I do believe. But I love to meet new people. You know, that's one thing about this show that excites me, you know, keeps me getting ready to say, you know, there's a whole lot of folks in the Ville doing things, you know, and we don't know who all these people are. We got different kind of players in different kind of spaces, you know, but today I want to start out by, first I'd like to say, I'm trying to get my camera right here. I was trying to show my little flowers since I'm in my new location with no background set yet, but the show must go on, baby. There are a lot of things going on. One thing that kind of disturbed me this week was the death of the young lady that was Miss USA, and she committed suicide. She jumped out of a high-rise building. You know, you're saying what would push somebody to that extent? And why were there no signs or signals that somebody wasn't keeping tabs on her? You know, I know some folks that seem to have a few issues, and I try to stay close because it's the difference in saying, how you doing today, and not saying anything. You know, so we have to be our brother's keeper, our sister's keeper. Sisters keep up with each other pretty good. But we have to be very intentional about that, because as African Americans, number one, we don't really want anybody in our business, and then it turns around and kind of everybody kind of knows your business anyway. Because if you talk to one person, especially in this city is very talkative and very informational. They have lots of information, be it true or be it a blatant tale. I'll be kind. But today I'd like to present to some and introduce to others Miss Terra Leavell.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing well.
You know,
well.
Your photograph just says, girl, you need to talk to me.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you think so.
Yeah, it was bright and happy and inviting. So I said, I know she don't know me, but I'm gonna talk to her anyway. So how you doing?
I'm well. I'm doing really well. And you say you don't know me, but I know you, and you will know me in a minute when I tell you how I know you.
If you can to the levels, I know you.
I am. So your mom.
My mom. Okay.
I knew your
mom.
Greater
St. James.
Yes, very well. As she would sashay in on Sunday mornings, and then later, I probably seen you several times with her.
Right.
You know, just latter and in her latter years. So right. Yes, while we never probably connected and met that way, but I certainly know who you are, really through your mom, I think, and then your family.
So are you married to Joe Leavell?
I'm married to Joe. Yes, and so you all, you know, our families.
That's family.
Are very close.
Yeah, that's family. You know. Yeah. What can you say? I know everyone in that family from knew everyone from Eunice to John. Well, John went to Shawnee, and he married my girlfriend Faye.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, it's a small world, and
mustard seed.
Right. Yeah. So when you reached out, I thought, oh, she knows me. Yeah, we're not strangers.
But I kept saying, I said to myself, I bet you this is Joe's wife.
It is, yeah.
You know, well, I'm glad that we have this one-on-one meeting with each other today. And when I saw the heading under your name that you oversee the the Black Community Development Corporation. I'm like, ooh. Now, so
Mm-hmm.
why don't I know what this is and what it's all about and what you all are doing? Tell me a little bit before you get to there. Tell
Okay.
me what brought you to there.
So I have been in nonprofit for now, I guess, over 20 years.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, I always knew I wanted to work and help people. Started out in banking, and I was a branch manager for, it was National City Bank, then it turned into another bank and all that good stuff. And when they took the banking out of banking, that people
Right. The
one-on-one,
relationship.
yeah, I knew I had to go.
Okay.
So I left there and went to work for the Urban League, started their training and development department. And that's been, like I said, years ago. From there, left and went to another nonprofit. And each nonprofit I went to, I served in a different role.
Okay.
Each role worked with people, but not the way I'm able to do it today, right? So I actually got out of nonprofit world for about 4 years and became an entrepreneur. Wanted to just kind of take some time away, always knowing I would go back. And so how I got back into it was I was asked to be the executive director for Canaan Community Development Corp.
Okay.
Under the Canaan Christian Church, Dr. Walter Malone Jr. So I was doing that for about 7 years, and he decided that he kind of wanted to focus on ministry and not so much split his time between the church and the nonprofit. And
Okay.
so that is actually how the Black Community Development Corporation came to be.
So that's a tentacle of Canaan?
It is. So he
okay.
actually stepped down as CEO, and that board of directors made me the CEO. And we decided to go a whole different direction, just to change its mission, change its name, keeping the wonderful history of Canaan Community Development Corporation. So, because they've done a lot of wonderful things. And even under my tenure there as executive director, we started to kind of shift into some new things. And I think, that's kind of when Dr. Malone decided, things were solid enough, I think, for him to kind of let go of his baby, because he was the founder and all of that. So that's how Black CDC was birthed. And then, so what we decided was, and kind of when I say we, my board of directors and are like my friends, right? And so everybody believes me when I say I want to do something. I think I've had a strong enough track record that everybody goes with it, so I've been lucky enough to have a team of people that surround me and just believe in me enough to let me try some of the crazy things I've tried.
They trust you.
They trust me. That's a great word.
That's a heavy lift right there.
Yeah,
getting
they trust
folks
me.
to trust you.
That's true. And so I've made good on a lot of things. So the trust, I think, is I appreciate that in the people that help, but I don't take it for granted. But anyway, so what we decided to do was, the typical nonprofit structure has worked in the past, but right before COVID happened, I kind of felt like there needed to be a shift in the way we help people, right? We've been doing handouts for so long, and what was happening with the programmatic services that the Black CDC had, we were seeing the same people, just year after year. We continued to help the same people, the same families. And while, that's what we were here to do, and we don't mind doing that, but is that helping the people? Because if you needed the help last year and you need it again this year, have we really helped you? So we've just supported you along the way, but if we can't get you out of the situation, then, I don't think we're doing as much as we can. Okay. So we decided to change our focus and mission and build a more sustaining lifestyle and a sustaining community for Black people. So we named it Black, and it started out an acronym, Building Louisville's African American Community.
Okay.
And then I said, well, let's put the K on there because I don't want anybody to get it twisted.
Okay.
For the rest of my life in doing this work, I'm dedicated to helping Black people, period. You know, it's not that I won't help anybody else, but that's not what I'm aiming to do. I'm intentional about the people that I want to help, and it's Black people. So that's really why we named it the Black Community Development Corporation.
Okay.
Some people push back and were like,
so is it business or is it family?
It's kind of both in the sense that we start out business, right? But we know that through business, you eventually will help the family. Right. So our mission is to creatively transform spaces to build a self-sustaining community. So what we mean by that is I'll take our first initiative, which is a business, the Hope Wellness Center. And so what we knew is healthcare is one of the biggest challenges that we have in our community, right? And access to quality healthcare. In the West End, if you get sick after 4 o'clock, you're out of luck.
Right.
There's not a little clinic in a Kroger. There's not a Walgreens that has a little clinic. There's no Norton urgent care after 4 o'clock. So we said,
isn't that sad?
It's really sad because also we were beginning to be penalized. When I say we, meaning passport, Medicaid patients, which is primarily the insurance that a lot of people in West Louisville have, not all, but many have passport. And you are penalized if you go to the emergency room for something that your doctor could take care of or a urgent care could take care of. But the emergency room is the quickest access for residents in West Louisville. It's on a bus line, takes you right there. So what we said was, well, we need a place that is right in the neighborhood that people can get health care in after 4 o'clock. And so I was in Lyle's Mall. Some of my office space was there. And there was it used to be Sherry Babbage. It used to be her dentist office. It's on the second floor in Lyle's Mall. And they never changed the layout of that space. So it makes the perfect doctor's office. And we rented the space out, not medical. I don't have any. And so, but I have a lot of friends who were nurse practitioners who said, sure, I'd start a practice if I could afford it. I was like, so if I gave you a space and I made it so affordable, would you start your own practice? And we've had 4 nurse practitioners to start their own practice inside of the Hope Wellness Center. And so now we have a functioning clinic. Now, not only did we help the residents.
So that clinic is still at Lyle's Mall?
Yes. It's we opened in 2018. Thank God we did right before COVID because we did a lot of testing for residents in the West End, and we still do. This coming Saturday, we're going to have more testing and vaccinations that we'll do on site. You can walk up, no appointments necessary or anything like that. There are no barriers to treatment, right? And then the plus is too, everybody in the clinic looks just like the people who are coming in the clinic. And I would say care,
and it feels like a safe place to come.
It's a safe place. You're not rushed through. And then none of the practitioners there will turn anybody away. So even if you don't have insurance, and that's part of, if you're going to work inside the Hope Wellness Center, your mission kind of has to be like ours in the sense that we just want to provide quality care and access. So those ladies are doing great jobs and they're all running their own practices. So now this goes back to the family, meaning, so we've provided this service for healthcare, but then also we have 4 women who are now, they've launched their practices. And so that's income to their families. They're now, business owners. They are entrepreneurs, and
Right.
we're giving them that stability to grow their practice while they're in the Hope Wellness Center. We don't charge the rent for them to practice out of that space. Is just enough to we pay the bills, right?
Right.
That's all we're in it for. And so they're able to grow a practice. Hopefully they will be able to go get their own brick and mortar someday, and we'll filter in for new, practitioners by the time the ladies have their business up and running. But again, primarily it's about the access to healthcare. So that's kind of the mission for all of the spaces that we have. So we have the Hope Wellness.
You have more than one clinic?
So we have that one clinic.
Okay.
And in March, in Lyles Mall downstairs, we will open Black Fitness, which is a fitness center.
Right. Okay.
And it's 5,000 square feet, state of the art. It will be, and I'm going to say this, and somebody might call me and say, no, it's not, but they'll have to wait and see. But it will be the nicest gym, not in the West End, in Louisville.
In the city.
In the city. It will have a juice bar, coffee bar, salad bar. We'll do workout classes. Of course, we have the fitness, the equipment. We're going to focus and make sure we have something for the entire family to do throughout the week. And again, it's a business, right? Okay. So we will employ people to work there. We will give trainers who right now are probably training in the East End and all over the place. We will give them a home in the West End to train people that live around 26th Street, or anywhere. I mean, people can come from anywhere, but the issue right now for healthy living for residents in the West End, you've got to leave your home,
leave your area, go somewhere to get the services.
To go somewhere and get the services. So we're going to provide that space. And then also in Lyles Mall, so I have three units in Lyles Mall. We have Hope Plus, and that's right behind the Hope Wellness Center. And the Hope Plus is an incubator for small businesses, small Black businesses that focus in health and wellness. So we have. So
you're keeping your focus really on the health. Okay.
Lyles Mall is health. It's all health and wellness related.
I think Lenny would like that.
I think so too. And now I would, one day I would love to be on here to tell you we purchased the whole building, because that's what we would love.
You can come back on when you do that.
Yes. Come back on. I certainly would love it if we own Lyles Mall. We don't. Right now, we're still leasing space. So in a way, it kind of doesn't go against what I'm saying. But, at the end of the day, we want to own the places that we work and live and even play. So I'm actually sitting in a space to do this call that my husband and I own. It's called The Gathering Place. Right. So I
saw that.
Yeah. So in 2022, or really the end of 2021, we kind of said, well, we got to put our money where our mouth is. Right. So I'm out preaching space and ownership and entrepreneurship. And I've kind of been able to do so through the Black Community Development Corporation, which is a nonprofit. Right. And so technically nobody owns that, right? That's the community. They own that. But what about my legacy? What about my children? What about my husband? So we decided, well, we're gonna own our space too. So
it looks like a lovely space.
It is. We'll have to invite you down
to the posting on LinkedIn. I was like, whoa,
it's still coming together. It's still coming together. But so that's the niche behind the Black CDC is to support small businesses and even community organizations and the community to access to do what it is they want to do, right? So
when you call it the Black CDC, it sounds like there's a little hook in there on it that's purposeful, because the CDC is the Community for Health, right?
It is.
With the people that were making all these decisions about the vaccines. So you're saying we're the Black CDC.
We're the yeah, and it's I don't know. It's
Well, it makes. I'm going to tell you what it when it. I just heard you say that. It said, so then, if you didn't trust them, you can trust us.
Right, and
that whole trust thing just keeps coming back around.
We heard that with every testing site we set up, every drive-through testing, when we would put a call out, and I know the community and even the health department here, and everybody was really shocked at the turnouts we would have when we would do a testing, because a lot of people weren't getting tested and kind of shied away from it, but the minute we said we were doing a testing, I mean, it ran, people waited for hours.
You're kidding.
And we tested like 300 and 400 people at a time. And people were like, oh my gosh, we can't believe so many people came out. Well, there was a reason. And the reason was they trusted us. They trusted the people on the flyer because, I mean, they just did, right?
That messaging is something.
It really is. It really, really is. And so when you think about just overall with every, not just the health and wellness of our people, but even when you talk about their financial situation, buying homes, and where you get your information and who you get your information from matters. It matters.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The banks can have 1,001 home ownership programs, right? But it's something about going to the Urban League, and talking to those people on the second floor,
and knowing that they're going to help you,
because they can, you can walk down the street and see those same people, at the grocery store or wherever. These are my neighbors. These are my. So yeah, it's we do trust each other, and we need to kind of, I don't know, come together to make sure that in every facet of our lives, there needs to be a sector of, even if it's not the Black CDC, because we can only do so much, we're going to stay in our lane. And then the Urban League has a lane. And then you've got, a lot of other organizations doing great things. But I think it's time for us to be a little bit bolder in speaking out and making sure it's clear that we know what we're talking about and we know what we're doing.
Right.
And so
one of the things, when you mention my mother, my whole existence just flutters. But there was one thing that I learned when I became my mother's caregiver, was that that we don't have the information that we need to know how to do caregiving. If you wanted to keep your parent at home, and I know my mom and Miss Leavell was like this. The three musketeers, my mother, Miss Leavell, and Miss Viola.
That's right.
Okay, so when it came to taking care of my mother, Terra, it took me almost 2 years to get everything in place, and it shouldn't have taken that long. You know what I'm saying? And I told somebody, I said, I'd love to go to Black churches and give them the information that I learned. Because see, white folks know this stuff.
Right.
We don't know it. That it took me 2 years to understand that when my doctor said, Janis, you need to call hospice for some services for your mother, I was hearing hospice.
Yeah.
And I kept saying, why she keep telling me to call hospice? My mom ain't getting ready to die. Because I know what happened with my brother, and that's who came in.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't like that. I didn't care for that really. But she was saying, and the last time she said it to me when I took my mother for an exam, she said, Janice, she said, hospice. She says, it's probably more for you than it is your mama.
Mm-hmm.
And the bells, it clicked. But wow, it took me a long time because I'm confusing the words.
Right. Yeah.
And I tell people a lot of times when I know people are doing caregiving that we have. I mean, I've got relative up in another state that may need some care, and I'm telling folks, call hospice. Well, I don't know if we have that. Well, call the one in Louisville and
Mm-hmm.
find out if they've got one where you are. I said, because that was a missing piece to my puzzle. It gave
Mm-hmm.
me the nurse, it gave me the homemaid, it gave me a chaplain.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Black folks don't know that. And they think you got to be on your last leg, and you
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah. And then we just think that, well, this is our mom and we just gotta, keep her at home, anything to keep her
Right.
home, and we just gotta suffer through it.
Right.
And that's not the case. Because
No.
as you said, our white people aren't doing that.
No.
They know the services, they get the help, and they're able to do, what they're able to do. But
Right.
so yeah, so I don't know. It's about providing the space for Black people to grow and whatever they can dream about doing.
Yeah.
I just want to help somebody do it.
Tell me
through-
about it.
Yeah.
I
So
want to help our kids. That's that 16 to 25-year-old.
Mhm.
So they can take the guns out of their
Yeah.
hands and have some hope. Our kids they seem not to have any hope. It's like they're hopeless.
Yeah.
Which is
And because really, you
sad.
said help the kids, and they're not kids.
I know they're not kids.
I mean,
I said that.
No, but I'm just
adults.
saying, but they should be. At 16,
Right.
you should still, but gosh, everything is now so advanced, and people are just ahead of of their time in life.
Right.
A 16-year-old now, there's a lot on that plate.
But they're not
That wasn't.
mature. See,
No, they're not.
they're not mature.
No.
We got a lot of, aside from getting a lot of our upbringing, Terra, at home.
Mhm.
We got a little bit from school, but we got a whole lot more from home. And I think our children, these young adults where the net wasn't there, that home piece was not as vibrant, because the extended family was mom and them grandmothers, and the grandmothers have like, for instance, I'm a baby boomer. The generation, my mother's generation, they're all gone.
Right.
Mostly.
Yeah.
Some people, I mean, my mother did live until she was in her 90s. But then you think that was having that grandparent, that extended parent, which a lot of young adults, the millennials, they're having to depend on them because they're watching their kids.
Yeah, that's mom.
Yeah.
In a lot of cases.
That becomes big mama is mom.
Yeah. Now the Black CDC, we had a program for boys. It was called the Sons of Issachar, and that program ran for, when we ended in 2018, 19, we, it was a hard, I don't know. It was just difficult. It was for boys, elementary through middle school.
Okay.
It's an after school program. And that was initially why I moved to Laos Mall, was for that program initially. Right. And we serviced all of the elementary schools in District 1. Okay. And I'm, again, not an educator. That would never be anything I probably would have ever chosen to do, but it was a part of Canaan Community Development Corp. So, we took that on, and it was much needed,
Right.
but quite overwhelming.
Right.
And the more, with every year, the needs were greater and greater and greater for the not, I wouldn't say for the student, but for the person.
Right.
And that's where we started to kind of go outside of the scope of work that we were supposed to do, which was
Right.
after school assistance, and
Right.
we were mom, we were healthcare.
And you just have to, if you're there and you see the need, you've got to nurture.
Yeah. And I literally told the board and everybody else that that I love, this is going to take me out. This is because it's hard to care for 55 kids, and to the point like I am. I mean, so
Right.
I'm worried to death that Johnny didn't eat today,
Right.
and that I didn't have an extra something to put in his backpack like I
Right.
did yesterday.
Right.
So then, or if it's Friday, and I
Right.
don't have it, or I forgot to get it, and he's going home without, or I don't know if he's coming back, or I don't know, and you times 50. You
Wow.
got that times 50.
That's a lot.
It was a lot. And and with no support, right? It was our program, and we were supposed to do that. And so it just was something that we decided we can't put our all in that. And so we're going to, support. Now, what we do is we support, like Bates, they have Kingdom Academy. There's some other organizations that still have the after school programs. So the Black CDC, we financially support all the other programs that are dealing with kids.
Okay.
And we'll continue to do that, but we can't do it. Yeah.
Well, tell me, Miss Terra, tell me about this great place that you have. Tell me what you want, what you're looking for to happen there.
So initially it was community space for community organizations, and then just people to rent out, because there was nowhere in the West End that I wouldn't say nowhere, but for the most part, to have a big space that's open, you were either in a church basement or, maybe at a community center. And so we wanted to provide a space for people to be able to, to come together. So we did that right when we took over. It was 1619 Flux at the time. That was the name of it. It was an art gallery.
Okay.
And so we took over management of it, and we were open about 4 months, and COVID hit.
Okay.
So at that point, it was like, okay, well, everything shut down. But what we did notice very quickly into COVID is that while we were all supposed to be at home, unfortunately, people were passing away, and the churches were closed. But as Black people, we still wanted to get together.
Right.
And so we started getting a lot of calls. Well, can we use your space for repasses? Can we use your space? And so throughout COVID, the space was, it truly was used for gatherings, and I'll say family gatherings. And it was during a time that we just needed that, right? And so it
was a connector.
It was a connector,
and it was families and the community connected.
Yeah. And the great part about it, right, is that we had control over it. We still had control over it. And then the previous owner was like, COVID is too much, so I want to sell the building. And, it's kind of like, we really need this space. But, and so I just, and I asked her, I was like, well, you want to sell it? We want to buy it. And this was a lady who had approached me years before, Kara Nichols, who was the previous owner. And her mission was to support Black people as best she can. She's a white lady, and many would say very privileged. But for whatever reason, her calling, I mean, when I say this lady like stalked me for a while,
Okay.
and I kind of thought, wait a minute, but honestly, and then one day she showed up in my office in Lyle's Mall and was like, you have to help me. You have to, I've got these buildings, I have this space, and I need it, and it needs to be in the hands of Black people, and you got to help me.
Wow.
And I thought, okay. But
how can you say no to that?
Exactly. But she was very genuine and true to her word. And then, the doors opened up for us for Joe and I to take, to purchase it. And then we had to think about, well, what is this space going to be? And the address is 1619. But of course, it just works out, right? Because
timing is everything.
Such symbolicness to it. So we were like, well, we're definitely going to keep 1619. But what is this space? And I said, well, it's the gathering place. I mean, this is where we gather. This is for us. This is our space. And so that's what we've tried to, that's what we're doing. So we're going to try to make it a place for us to gather. And it will be a little later down the road. We're working on this now, but it is going to be a membership-driven facility. So you will become a member of the gathering place, and all the privileges that go with that. I don't know what they're all going to be yet, right? but that's where we're headed. Now, not taken away from community, right? So community will still be able to use the space or whatnot. But during the week, you just, after work, you want to come sit down, watch some news, have a beverage, drink something, eat something, hang out with your girlfriends or your guy friends. This is where grown folks gather.
Okay. So it's a kickback spot for us older folks.
I won't say older, but I'll say for like-minded people. Okay. So
that includes young and old.
That's young and old, but it's a certain crowd, I may go anywhere, but the reality is there are some of my friends aren't going to go everywhere with me, but they'll come here.
Right.
So, it's about choices.
And that's like when you're having conversations with people, you want to have conversations that it's a conversation about something. I don't want to have frivolous conversations with anybody.
Right.
If it sounds like we're getting ready to go talk about the weather, then I'm going to say, it was really nice seeing you, and I'll see you later.
Yeah.
I would definitely do a Miss Emily on them on that.
Right. So there certainly are standards, and will be standards, and so, but because of, just the nature of who I am, and even Joe as well, we are still community focused people. And so, it will still be open to churches.
There's a need to keep us connected.
Right.
Because you sound like when one of the reasons for the show is I'm looking for a place and time when the community can come be a little bit more cohesive, and of not just one mindset, because we're, like they said, we're not monolithic, but we need to be on the same page about a whole lot of things that are for our benefit, because when we're fragmented and everybody wants to lead, and everybody is not built to lead,
right?
Then we splinter, and then we don't get a lot done. I had seeing what you've done there at the gathering place makes me think about Louisville is a small pie for philanthropy. It's one place that everybody goes to get the money.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So just like the community got behind my soror, my sister, Miss Sadiqa,
Mm-hmm.
with the athletic, the track
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
facility. Okay, so let her get all the money and get
So
that off the ground. Okay,
right.
so we got a list. Who's next?
Right.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Everybody can't be first.
No.
So then let's get this person. Then there might be two people that have an idea that would bring funds into the community, uplift our community with jobs,
Mm-hmm.
resources, and facilitating the things that we don't have.
Right.
And it might be two of them. So let's get them started. But
Yeah.
let's let them get all the money this go
Right.
round.
Yeah.
And we've got
So that we
somebody
make
ready for
sure
the next one. Yeah.
exactly, because what a tragedy that would have been for Sadiqa to have done all of that work and get down to needing $5 million
Right.
to, and because it went everywhere else and that didn't happen. So yeah, I completely agree with you. We've got to figure out a way to to streamline and work together and make it, very strategic. Right.
Right.
Who's next? What you
Right.
got? Is your
Right.
plan club, and if you're not close enough, then maybe you step
Just keep
aside.
working on yours till we get you.
Right.
You'll get a turn.
You step aside because she's closer to hitting,
Yeah.
the finish line than you are. And so,
Right.
so I agree with you wholeheartedly. And at some point we will, I think we'll get to that. We're working
Look,
on it.
I don't want to fall asleep on you.
I know.
Excuse me. You talking about we'll get to that. Look,
I do.
we need to come on with the quickness.
I do. And I mean, a lot of people, with me, I work very quietly and I just kind of make things happen.
Right.
In part because of kind of what we were just talking about, right? You just, you can't let Joe's grandmother used to always say, you can't let your right hand know what your left hand's doing. You
Right.
just to get it done.
Right.
Then you can
Just-
come out with
just
both
do
hands.
it. Be like Nike.
Right.
Just do it.
Yeah,
You
then
know,
you can come out. And so
that's one of the things that I'm trying to figure out this mayoral race. And I'm seeing in the city now, Terra, I don't know if you've paid attention, and I'm quite sure you have, but we have more Blacks as presidents and CEOs of major corporations and businesses in Louisville than ever, ever, ever before.
yeah.
And I'm saying, so we've got that should be somewhat our nucleus, okay? Whereas that we could be the new Atlanta, because
Yeah.
see, we're on the fence. If we fall one way, we're backwards. If we fall another way up, we could be a little bit progressive.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we've got that kind of potential. And it shouldn't take us forever because we're there. It's like you're standing in the forest and can't see the trees. You're in the forest.
I agree. But what we're missing,
Tell me, because I need to know.
I had this conversation with somebody because I was sort of, on the fence about the mayor, like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And I knew who I wanted to endorse initially. But my mind, look, I'll say it was playing tricks on me. It was saying, well, but do you think, and can you think? And I said, well, here's the thing. What I know is if I don't support this person, then they don't have a chance at winning. So I can talk myself out of it because I think maybe they can, maybe they can't. We can go sugarcoat it. One side, have one foot in, one foot out. And we've seen what that does to us. We lose every time when we play that. when we're trying to figure
Well,
out.
when we're battling against each other,
Well,
we lose anyway.
That's true. That is so true. So, so I just, the other day, I made a call and I called Tim Finley, Pastor Tim Finley. He's not, or Reverend Finley. And I said, I want to host you and do a fundraiser. I want my people, my friends, my capital, my connections to hear from you. And, you know, he was kind of like, oh, okay. I know he was caught off guard because probably he didn't expect it. You know, initially, I didn't expect it. I didn't expect me to feel this way and say that. But honestly, why couldn't he be the next mayor? Now, everybody has their own choice, right? Everybody,
Right.
and I'm not gonna say you should, you shouldn't, but everybody deserves to be heard, and everybody should make their own decision. But in my mind, if I say I'm a supporter of Black people, then I'm going to be a supporter of Black people, not blindly. Right now,
Right.
if Tim were Black and and I didn't think he had the marbles to do anything, he couldn't get my vote.
Right.
He would not get my support. So I'm not doing it simply because he's Black, but I am doing it simply because he's Black. If that makes any sense at all.
I got you.
That's just the way, I mean, you know, and that's me. But I just think as a people, we play it safe a lot for the sake of the what next and the what if it doesn't happen this way? What if, so like, if Tim doesn't win, what's that have to do? I mean, he doesn't win, right? Do I lose credibility? What do I lose?
No, that's your right. That's your
That's
choice.
my right. Right.
That's
And
your
so,
right.
but I'll tell you, there's a lot of people that make their decisions based on the what if. They're not in the, you know, it's just, well, but I don't want to stand behind the wrong candidate. Well, what do you mean the wrong candidate? The wrong candidate in the sense that they're not good candidates, or that you just don't think they can win.
Right.
But here's what we know. They can't win if we don't support them.
Right.
They can't. And so,
But
I don't know.
But now, would you agree with me if I were to make this statement to you? They can't win if they're running against each other, because we only got 6,000 votes.
Wholeheartedly. Now, I 10,000% agree with you.
Because not only is that going to be split in half right now, we've got another third dimension that's going to take. When Greg Fisher ran for office, I've run for office before, and look, I didn't win because I ain't had no money, not a damn. It was, and now it's funny to me, but to know the dynamics that every time. Now, he was elected 3 times. He served 3 terms.
Right.
But he got those same 6,000 votes from the West for those that are able to vote.
Right.
Now, we take 6,000 votes and we split them up to 2,000 and 2,000 and 2,000.
I agree.
You know, the 2 Black candidates, to me, don't have a chance. You know, but that does not keep them from running.
Right.
Because it's not just the Black community that's going to pick the mayor.
No, you've got you're exactly right. You're exactly right. And that's
but that fraction, that piece of that puzzle is so intricate that if it's fractured, someone else moves up in the spot.
Yeah. And so and exactly what you said initially is exactly how I felt. I mean, that's exactly how I felt.
Okay.
But then when it came to what are you going to do though? I mean, so like, because I had probably every candidate calling Will you do that? Will you?
Right, right.
So now, but for me to make the decision of what am I going to do? At the end of the day, when I looked at it, I just said, well, this is what I'm going to do, because I think this person, if elected, could do the job. And I just left it at that.
Being the mayor is an OJT job. Don't nobody know how to be the mayor till you become the mayor.
Till you become the mayor. And so at the end of the day, I want to invest and try to get this person to that position. Yeah. But you are like 100% correct in the sense that at some point we've got to be more strategic as a people as to how we play the game.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no,
we cannot continue to play checkers and everybody's playing chess. But just then like even the Democrats, we cannot keep going to war with a butter knife and they got machetes.
Yeah, but then too, we've got to have some of the people who have I would say more capital than me, more influence than me. There's a lot of people that could say and do who aren't, and they kind of stay quiet for too long. They're so quiet that the election is won before they decide when they're gonna vocalize.
Right.
And
what I wanted to do, Terra? I wanted to just have them both come on the show, on Guess Who, invite them both to dinner, and say, have you ever sat down and had a conversation with each other?
Right.
It ain't just about being able, anyone who feels like they could be or do be the best one for the job. But have you ever sat down and had a conversation about, so does this situation, us pitting ourselves against each other, does it propel us for one of us to win?
Right.
We need to win.
Yeah.
We don't need just to run, but we need to win.
We
certainly
need to
I
win.
want to be first. I didn't want, my brother told me second, third didn't count. Yeah.
Well, but somewhat, but
it gives you influence.
Yeah, because if one wins, the other one kind of can too.
Yeah. But if I got some strategy for that, how they both win.
Exactly.
But that's a conversation to be had.
Yeah.
And maybe.
And those are the conversations too that as some of our, as our elders, they need to have, we need to have those conversations, and we need people like you who, are, I'll say, bold enough to get us in the room to have them. Because it was going to be a covert operation. I was going to have lunch or have dinner and invite everybody who didn't know if other people was coming, and said, y'all need to talk to each other. Well, yeah. Well, look, you done told your secret now. Yeah.
That's all right. I picked up on a few things when I put my ear to the ground, that it doesn't matter, that maybe it's too late for that conversation to be had. Because I actually one day I saw Mr. Finley on the street, and I asked him, I said, have you talked to Shamika? Have y'all talked? Because I'm serious. I seriously think y'all need to have a conversation with each other, because see, between me and you, I ain't nobody else can hear us. There's the mayor, and then there's a deputy mayor. And so if you let me just go on, give me your money and your support, and I'll make you my deputy mayor. Wouldn't that be something? And then when I can finish running 3 terms, then I'll support you. Mm-hmm. What a novel thought.
Well, that's what I meant by both of us can win. If one of us wins, we actually both can win.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, you sound like a warrior. I love
I
warrior mentality
yes.
that we let's and being purposeful and intentional because we can't say we've got to get to I look, I'm a senior citizen. I didn't know I would still be having these kind of conversations at my age.
Mm-hmm.
And knowing that we're still not where we need to be.
Right.
You know, at once upon a time, I was going to move to Atlanta, but I didn't think Atlanta was. Well, this is 1979. I was going to move to Atlanta. I was in Las Vegas, and the singing hadn't kicked in
Mm-hmm.
yet, right?
Yeah.
I said, well, let me go. You know, Atlanta's the new chocolate city, so I went to Atlanta and I spent a weekend, and I didn't feel it. I mean, I love to go and visit, but to live there. I didn't think that they were they're socially astute, but I
Mm-hmm.
didn't think they were intellectually astute.
Gotcha.
You know, no harm to Atlanta, but that was 1979. You know,
Okay.
when it was all about being seen and it was more social than anything. And we see how they moved to another. They moved to the center
Right.
in
Right.
order to be able to not just have they not just chosen one black mayor, they've elected several,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and we are still at a point that we can't get on the same page to do the same.
Yeah.
And we are flourishing in our leadership, our
Yeah.
black leadership in this city. We are flourishing.
Yeah. We've got some rock stars.
Woo,
Yeah.
girl, please.
We do.
Every time
We
I
really.
see their name in the paper, I said, ooh, I got to hurry up and get them. I want to be first.
Mhm.
But and I've enjoyed meeting them all, and I'm saying, so you're the nucleus of what makes us progressive,
Mhm.
you know. But then there has to be someone within in the group to say, you know, let's just stand up. This is not maybe just our job, but this is our opportunity
Mhm.
to stand on the platform. Platform is the black folks,
Right.
sweetie, huh?
Yeah, you're right.
So I'm saying, you know, come on now. You know, I said, you know, if I'm for you, I got you back. And you know, Louisvillians are kind of like that. We stand up for you. You know,
Right.
somebody say something wrong about you, we knock them down for you.
Yeah.
We'll fight
Yeah.
those battles.
And I just think, right. And that's, so we need more of that. I mean, there are some of us that clearly you're that way. I feel like I'm that way. But we could use some more warriors.
Okay.
We've
I
got
tell you what,
leaders,
when
but
you
we
get
need,
ready to have your powwow session, please invite me.
I will. I sure will.
You
I
know.
sure will. So I've definitely got to get you down here to the gathering place. This might be where we gather and we talk about it.
Oh yeah.
We could do something like that. Certainly can.
I'd love to. I'd love to.
Yes,
Well, Miss Terra, I'm gonna tell Mr. Joe I said hello.
I will. I sure will.
And I thank you for accepting my invitation on such short notice.
That's all right.
But we needed to know. I needed to know and wanted to know just what was going on and how it's happening. Because see, I got some folks over, some friends at Canaan.
Okay.
Them Turners is my buddies, and
Which?
Clifford and Cheryl
Oh yeah, yeah.
and Shory.
Yes. Sure.
Miss
We're
Shory.
neighbors too. We live very close to Short.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So she's done wonderful things since she moved to Louisville. But I want to say, if you need me, I can do anything to be of help to you and the Black CDC. I love to say that
I
rather
appreciate.
than saying Black Community Development
Yeah.
Corporation. I like saying the Black CDC. We got the CDC, but then we got the Black
The
CDC
Black CDC. That's
in
right.
Louisville.
Yeah.
Hey, all right.
Well, I appreciate you reaching out to me and even wanting to know more about what we're doing.
Yeah.
And the same, anything we can do for you, you let me know.
Miss Terra. God bless you. It's dinner time, honey. Go have your
I
dinner.
know. No, I'm done. It's it's 8 o'clock. I can't eat after 8 o'clock.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I pushed mine to 9.
Okay.
I guess that'll work for me. But take care of yourself. God bless you.
God
And I
bless you
wish
too.
you all the success with the gathering place. It's the branding is magnificent.
Thank
I
you.
said 16, 19. How'd she get that?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's
I
all
mean,
orchestrated by God. He put me right here.
Put you right there.
Dropped it in my lap.
Okay. So if you need me, holla.
All
Take
right.
care of yourself.
Good night.
All right, darling. All right, Miss Terra Leavell. 1619, the gathering place. And Hope Wellness. That's wonderful that I never thought about that we didn't have any place for our community to go in our neighborhood after 4 o'clock. Now, you know that's sad. And to get downtown to the hospitals, bus ride, you might be in big trouble. If you had to get on a bus. But it's we're trying to make some changes. I think we'll see a new Louisville. It might be in. I'd like to say just maybe 5 years, but it could be 10. That we'll see some changes. Changes are happening. They just don't happen fast enough for me. That's the truth, and I said it. So I thank everyone for joining us this evening. Friday, I want you to tune in again. Our first guest for Black History Month will be none other than Mr. Archie Dale, the general manager at WLOU WLLV. He's going to be our guest on Friday. So until then, it's dinner time. Guess who's coming to dinner? Bon appetit. See you Friday.